Car shipping integration implies the ability for dealers, shippers, and buyers to digitally book auto transport services directly after a purchase transaction, dealer swap, relocation, or vehicle shipping move requirement, and expecting shippers to continue to pick up phones and randomly post loads on multiple load boards doesn't make sense anymore. But that's exactly what is still happening. So if you're tired of that process, tonight's show is for you. What's up, ecosystem? Welcome back to ATI Auto Business Tuesday Nights Live. My name is Jay, bringing you top auto logistics video news connecting retail, wholesale, logistics, and tech, your auto transport community media. Since 2017, I've dispatched loads, I've used car shipping technologies, and like you, I know when something isn't working. So are you ready for a car shipping technology that actually works the way you want it to? Right now, you're seeing an auto transport technology space race, many different flavors, racing the market, hoping to get your business. That's why One Auction View Car Shipping Integration is working hard to get it right with ease of use, fast processing, and accurate delivery pricing. And that's tonight's show. If this is your first time here, please do feel welcome. We're going to have a great show tonight. Now, let me know. We should be live on YouTube and LinkedIn, which is a new part of the process here on ATI Auto Business. Yes, I believe we are live on both YouTube and LinkedIn. We're going to start with some auto logistics news tonight. Headlines: we have auto market, car sales, trade-ins, acquisitions. BYD, China surpasses Japan. That is big news in automotive news. Skye Holman is our feature interview tonight at the quarter hour. He's with One Auction View, and he's going to kick us off talking about car shipping integration. After Skye, we've got Eric Ray of Easy Auto Ship. We're going to bring in Beck from Super Dispatch. We've got Joe Keadle from Kinetic Advantage. Cheli Garcia, SuperFlo Systems. Matt and John are dealers. Stan Deak is with us tonight. So we have a big show. So please do feel like you can click like, share, copy, grab that YouTube link. Let's jump into some news. Thank you so much for joining me. Hello, YouTube and LinkedIn. Here we go. This is show number 328 in a row on a Tuesday night here on ATI. Our feature is Skye Holman. Now, I've known Skye for quite some time, and we've been working towards this kind of show, unveiling new information from One Auction View. And this is all about vehicle transport. And as you know, man, that is my backyard. Auto transportation. We have roots in transportation and logistics, but we're now a full automotive business channel. He's got new design and new features and functionality that he wants to talk to you about. So that's really tonight's main show. And I just saw this on LinkedIn. I says LinkedIn is now, it's a barrage, an onslaught, a weekly onslaught of car shipping technology and transportation company competition. This is a real ad that ran a few days ago, and talking about their tech is old stuff, our tech is new stuff. And after a while, what I want to know is, how does the customer know the difference? So we talk about the full ecosystem here: new, used, auctions, dealers, shippers, carriers, services, brokers. We are the ecosystem's neutral zone, and that's why last week we had NADA show buzz. That's Steve Ressler from Drive Centric. That was a great show. And it's, everyone's talking about NADA. One of the things we also do here as the neutral zone is follow the disconnect between sales and operations. Are you able to fulfill what's being sold? We're going to talk about it here tonight. Now, delivering auto logistics news, here we go. NADA show, I'm not going to dive far into this, but I know at NADA show, these are topics that are going to be talked about in front of the world's tallest spinning display. Starting with the auto market forecast from Kain Automotive, the old normal. For the U.S. auto market, the word that will likely sum up 2024 is normalcy. That is what folks are looking for, which is interesting. Slow growth ahead, but it sure beats a recession. There's that R word, which we might be in. Vehicle supply is back. favoring consumers, placing downward pressure on prices. Dealerships will face the challenge of finding more efficient ways to protect their profit margins. So bid farewell to the seller's market. The 2024 EV market will be the year of more models, incentives, discounts, advertising. They got to do something to get it going. And car buying in America, normal is nice. After 4 years of anything but normal, Cox Automotive expects balance to return to the U.S. auto market in 2024. By the way, before I go any further, so mic check 1, 2. Oh, good. So we have a live chat. Now this live chat should show, if you're watching on LinkedIn, do me a favor, throw something in the live chat and we will see it. We're going to see YouTube and LinkedIn live chats on the same screen. That's awesome. Excited about that. All right. So Cox anticipates 2024 will be the best year for car buyers since the pandemic. Markets hit post-COVID high, biggest sales year since 2019. Wraps up with Hyundai Group surpassing Stellantis. Now, what I saw in reference to Stellantis, I'm going to get to that in the next slide, but GM, Ford eked out small fourth quarter gains, while Toyota and Honda finished 2023 with double-digit sales, capping the U.S. auto industry's best full-year total since 2019. All measurements are done against COVID now. Signs of a slowing market in 2024, elevated borrowing costs, new vehicle prices continue to sideline some shoppers. Among major automakers, Stellantis was the only one to post a fourth quarter and annual decline. So I saw this. Stellantis is considering not participating in auto shows in order to save costs. That's a lot of money right there. Stellantis has a challenging U.S. auto market, is forcing it to reevaluate which, if any, auto shows it participates in this year. In fact, they're sitting out of the Super Bowl. And you know you are slashing costs when you're talking about staying out of trade shows and major marketing events. That's fascinating. We'll see what happens next with Stellantis. Given continued used car supply woes, trade-ins remain a win-win for dealers and consumers. Here's why. There's roughly a 10.2 million unit deficit in the number of 1 to 3 year old vehicles expected to re-enter the pre-owned car market in the near future. Shoppers looking to leverage a trade-in toward purchasing a new or used vehicle may benefit from the scarcity while also helping to ease the industry's used car crunch. Trade-ins are a key source of inventory to stock dealer lots, and as the used car market remains lean, the vehicles in consumer driveways will continue to be in demand. The late model vehicle shortage could be especially impactful to the certified pre-owned segment, where demand is high but supply is low. Limited production between 2020 and 2022 has led to a scarcity of prime available CPO products despite strong demand. While the volumes of repo, rental, and off-lease are expected to increase compared to the previous year, they're likely to remain below pre-pandemic levels, giving dealers perhaps another reason to buy from consumers. And we just saw this, Holman to acquire Leith Automotive Group. The deal slated to close by the end of the first quarter would follow another large dealership group consolidation, being Asbury Automotive Group bought Jim Coons Automotive in December. Holman, one of the country's largest private dealership groups, will acquire Leith Automotive Group in a mega deal expected to be final by the end of the first quarter. Leith Automotive of Raleigh, North Carolina owns more than 25 franchise dealerships and a Jaguar used car and service center across 4 cities, all in North Carolina. The acquisition is expected to about double Holman's new vehicle dealership count. The Leith name and team will still stay in place. Nearly half of all Buick dealers are taking the GM buyout. Nearly half of all Buick dealerships in the U.S. are calling it quits after taking buyouts from General Motors. The automaker announced last week it will end 2023 with around 1,000 Buick dealerships nationwide, nearly a 50% drop from the previous year. In late 2022, GM gave its Buick dealerships an ultimatum to invest $300,000 to $400,000 in prep for the brand's move to an all-electric lineup in 2030 or stop selling Buicks. Buick dealers are not the only auto dealers to take pause in the transition to fully electric. In response to Ford's new EV sale and service requirements, dealers and dealer associations have filed lawsuits in 6 states: Arkansas, Florida, Illinois, New York, North Carolina, South Dakota. In November 2023, a group of over 3,800 car dealerships sent a letter to Biden urging him to pause a proposed EPA rule that would incentivize EV production. Wow. This is a small story, but I think this will be talked about at NADA. NCM Associates acquires dealership training company Kain Automotive. The two companies had collaborated for 15 years before starting talks in November to formalize their partnership. If you tune in to dealer news topics and articles regularly, you've heard of Kain Automotive. The strategic acquisition of Kain Automotive, an established leader in automotive digital training, elevates both businesses. Kain Automotive and NCM Associates' long-standing partnership has included providing NCM clients with training on internet sales, business development, center operations, and digital marketing, as well as 20 group services. So you can't knock the training and development. OPENLANE launches AI tool to pinpoint vehicle damage, Visual Boost AI. Users can toggle the overlays and get a second set of eyes to help them see anything they might have missed, like seeing the car in person from the convenience of your screen. AI vehicle inspection is all the rage. OPENLANE announced January 3rd it has released an enhanced AI tool that creates new damage detection overlays for every dealer-consigned vehicle in the company's U.S. marketplace. It's called Visual Boost AI. The AI-powered tech supplements vehicle inspection data by prominently highlighting detected exterior damages directly on photos with condition reports, making it faster and easier for buyers to accurately locate and assess potential defects before deciding on a purchase. The overlays feature hot pink highlights that pinpoint detected damage, including hail, paint peel, detached panels, broken lights, rust, scratches, dents, and cracks. Buyers can toggle the overlays on or off with a condition report for each vehicle they review and ultimately make smarter, more profitable, and bidding and buying decisions. And why everyone except Tesla should be terrified of BYD. The new sheriff in town is BYD. It's a Chinese vehicle. BYD edged past Tesla in 2023, delivering an estimated 3 million vehicles, about 2 million pure EV. And here's why folks should be worried. Well, other manufacturers. No one can match BYD on price. Boardrooms in America, Europe, Korea, Japan in a state of shock. The BYD Seagull compact sedan launched in Munich in September starts at $11,500. The BYD Dolphin priced at $33,000 in the UK, 30% lower than the VW ID3 hatchback. BYD is comfortable making thin margins to win market share. That's always how you know. That's the clarion call right there. Even Toyota is worried. For the first time, I came face to face with the competitiveness of Chinese components, said Toyota EV chief Takaro Kato. After seeing manufacturing processes not used in Japan, Kato thought, we're in trouble. So you see that floating around. And here's the headline today. China dethrones Japan as world's top exporter. And that's the news. So leverage AT on your business. We don't ship cars. We move information. Let's take a quick break because right after this, we're going to be live with Skye Holman of One Auction View. Stick around. You don't want to miss it.
Are you completely stressed out from all the calls and the contracts and the verifications of loads where nobody ever answers the phone? Call Murphy Auto Dispatch Services today. Murphy Auto Dispatch Services has over 15 years in the transport industry. We are your office while you are on the road. We book, we verify, and we bill out your loads for you. We have an excellent accounting staff and an even better dispatch team. Give us a call today at 417-273-0021, or if you want to email me, it's murphyautotransport31@yahoo.com. Give us a call today.
Transport Auto Quoter is by far the leading auto quoting software on the market, and the only auto quoter with a pro version that comes preset with accurate pricing for anywhere in the U.S. So you don't have to worry about it. The best part is that no change with your current software is needed. Just plug TAQ in and start booking jobs. Carriers can easily plug TAQ into their current websites and start making money right away. I bet you're wondering how we do this instantly and accurately 24/7. Well, constant analytics is the key. Our Price Watch team is constantly monitoring current market conditions, paying close attention to seasonal and quick-moving industry changes. At the end of the day, it takes a lot of time and data to maintain good pricing, time that most of us just don't have on a daily basis. So free yourself up. Using TAQ Pro is really a no-brainer. Save time and money, maximizing your leads and optimizing your online investments. You'll finally be able to sleep well at night knowing that TAQ is on the job selling for you 24/7. Never missing a potential job.
Don't lose any more sleep worrying about missing leads. Get Transport Auto Quoter to quote the right price the first time, anytime. Run your business with TAQ. Visit transportautoquoter.com. All right, thanks everybody for taking the time to join us again on a Tuesday night. Please do help me wish a very warm welcome to our friend and innovator, Skye Holman, founder and CEO of One Auction View. Skye, can you see me and hear me okay?
Jay, I got you loud and clear. Thank you again for inviting me on your show. And again, a little quick backdrop of who I am. I've been an independent car dealer for 21 years. A little over 4 years ago, I got into the software space and I created a solution called One Auction View. We are an Expedia-like solution for car dealers to search, evaluate, save, bid, and now my favorite part, transport any vehicle, whether it's an auction unit or a consumer unit.
So, yeah, that's interesting. Okay, so, and mic check 1, 2, 3, I'm just checking my audio. All right, so, One Auction View, let's back up a second. One Auction View, you've been working on this for years.
Yes.
You are the founder, right? You are the guts of the machine, right?
Yeah.
Right, and I know what that means because that's what it is at ATI. All right, so and One Auction View is, what was the original problem you were trying to solve when you created One Auction View?
Yeah, the original problem I was solving as myself as a dealer is there is so much noise with all these different auctions going on. All these, ADESA, Mannheim, ACV, backlot cars, CarMax, and a myriad of other players. And it's absolutely impossible for a dealer to keep track of all these auctions. There's too much noise going on. You can't have a save search set up at each individual auction and find these vehicles. You need to have one global solution to search all the vehicles seamlessly, to have a global save search that's going to show you all those cars in real time, and keep track of the vehicles that you put on your watch list. Because when you're a dealer, you have stuff at Mannheim, stuff at ADESA, stuff scattered all over, and it's impossible to manage it all. So that's why I got into software, because originally I was solving my problem, and I realized my problem is every dealer in America's problem.
Right. Okay, that's interesting. All right, so and from there, then you realize, I guess once you had that, you realize, okay, we need other functionality.
Yeah, it's exactly. And this project that we're showing today has been in the works for 2.5 years. And this all started from a problem I was facing with shipping vehicles on Central Dispatch, using other local brokers, auction transport solutions. They're all flawed, Jay. They all cater to the transporters or the carriers, not the dealer. They don't allow for transparency in the process. Our software is meant to help the car dealer, and we want to help them facilitate purchases outside of their sphere of influence which is obviously at wholesale auctions, so they can get a better deal.
And by the way, I just want to say this. Eric is up next, and we got some folks in the waiting room. I see you guys, so thank you so much for your patience. I just want to say this is that, okay, so waiver, Central Dispatch is probably going to get mentioned a few times tonight. And this is because Central Dispatch has, this is the load board, the default load board that everybody thinks of. But I think one of the complaints is that over time, it has become, it hasn't kept up innovatively. Right?
I would agree with that.
Okay, and I also want to say that I'm aware that they are back on the innovation horse, and that Central Dispatch will be, they've been innovating, and they continue to expect to ramp up innovation. So, that's on the table. Just as there are many companies now ramping up. We are in, when I say auto transport technology space race, I'm not kidding. And all you got to do is just watch LinkedIn for a few weeks, and you will see it's barraged with car shipping companies, technologies, media,
yeah, it's
trade
still the
show
Wild West.
Appearances. It's
The transport
pretty intense.
Still the Wild West, and that's why it's kind of a free for all for everybody. Right. Is what I believe.
So, and I think that's probably a good segue. We'll bring in Eric Ray here in a second. So Eric, get ready. Before we bring in Eric, so you knew you wanted to add car shipping integration to your technology. Meaning what? Tell me again, what does car shipping integration mean for One Auction View?
Yeah, let me tell you what we were seeking to solve here. So we're trying to do what I like to call the Uberization of transport for car dealers. So we're using automation, low touch points, so we can offer a high value, low cost, 100% transparency solution to car dealers. So what we've done is we've woven together several partners that make this all happen. So the needs that we first started with, we needed real-time, market-based, instant quotes for our vehicles. That's our good friend Mark Rodeke at TAQ. We also needed a broker with a proven track record of success and willing to move cars for a small margin with using technology and low touch points. That's Easy Auto Ship and Eric Ray. And then we also needed transparency with the carriers and digital bill of ladings and a TMS that would speak with all parties. That is our friends at Super Dispatch. And then lastly, we needed a great distribution partner, and we partnered with Kinetic Advantage and their dealers to give them cutting edge tools for finding inventory, knowing retail comps, and now transportation. So I'm super excited today about what we're sharing today, Jay, as this is, as you know, has been in the mist for 2.5 years. And this is no simple feat to put all this stuff together. So you're absolutely correct. Eric is the perfect person to explain some of the pitfalls and everything.
Well set up there. I like the way you identified the parts, because you want to have a team when you're trying to tackle something this big. And I'm glad you also pointed that out, because the car shipping integration is not a simple. This is not a simple thing. You got to get pricing right. You got the logistics alone.
Yeah, like Bezos did for Amazon.
Yeah,
you
right.
have to solve logistics in order to move your product, and that's my vision for One Auction View. You have to solve logistics if you want dealers, wherever they may be, to feel comfortable buying and selling cars all over, because customers are calling dealers and they don't know where to ship, how they could transport cars. Case in point, Monday I sold a Jeep Wrangler. I was able to close that deal because I had to throw in transport to Texas, and that was, as you could use on our app. It's $800 to move a Jeep Wrangler to Texas. I ran our estimate, and I knew I could throw it in, and I closed the deal on the Jeep Wrangler.
You know, that's a good point too, is that there are some routes where you pretty much know the rate. So why do you have to go through the manual process of calling somebody or this or that? Why can't you just hit a button and book somebody? And then in that way also the load is getting to the carrier faster, which solves another problem.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So all right, let's do this. Eric, get ready. You're about to join us. I just want to go to the live chat. Wow, look at the live chat's going crazy here. By the way, I want to thank Mark Rodeke making martinis in the super chat. The live chat looks very different today because we've got there's the super chat from Mark Rodeke. This is the interface of LinkedIn and YouTube comments on the same page. So I know it's pretty exciting. All right, here, let's do this. Help me wish a very warm welcome to our friend Eric Ray. He's joining now. And Eric is the CEO of Easy Auto Ship. Eric, can you see me and hear me okay?
Sure can.
All right, awesome. Before we kick off, Eric, for anyone that's not familiar with who you are, please say hello and tell us a little bit more about you.
Right now?
Yeah.
Oh.
Or later, you know.
Well, my name's Eric Ray. I'm the CEO of Easy Auto Ship, and I'm super excited about this show. I mean, I think what Skye has done here is going to change the industry big time. I look at it like when Kayak came out for shopping for airlines. I mean, it's a real big deal, and he's been working on this for a long time, and it's coming to fruition, and it's just going to be awesome. You know, and the thing with transport is dealers used to go to Mannheim or Odessa, the big auction sites, and transport them home from their pricing or whatever at that site. And they priced it really high, but the dealer didn't care at the time because that was just easy. And then they went to brokers to find, shop around, get a little less money on the transport, realized brokers were gouging them, $200-$300 deposits plus the carrier fee, and no digital BOLs, anything like that. No checks and balances. So, after a while, dealers found out, brokers go to Central. That's where they post their cars. Oh, I'm a dealer. I can go to Central and just join. So they did that. And, that was okay. They felt, a cheaper transport price, but a lot of headaches came in with that. There's just a lot of headaches with it. There were no checks and balances. As you know, the Central dispatch is like the wild, wild west. And, dealers, they save a little money sometimes, but it's just a pain in the butt. And with Skye and OAV and Easy Auto Ship, we have streamlined the process to make it simple, and you pay a small broker fee, and we're looking to do volume. That's how we're going to scale this out and make it, just a no-brainer process. So, and we use a lot of systems, to do checks and balances. That's the thing. We have ABD, which is a TMS CRM specifically for auto transport. And we use TAQ, which is a pricing engine that is awesome. It gives an accurate price, which, I'd like to say something about that. We price things what drivers and carriers should get on the route. We're all about building relationships. We don't price things what drivers are having to take on the route, low, just to fill a spot. That's how we build relationships, and that's what we do in TAQ. I think that dealers are going to find out real quick that the ability to shop for their car, press a transport button, and it shows up, and it just is wrapped into the flooring plan all in one shot, is going to be a great value to them. It will change the way they do business. So we're excited about it. We, at the end of the day, we're just going to basically create a system and a process to pump out transport and do it at a very reasonable price and get it done. I mean, we're going to get it done. Digital BOLs with super dispatch, tracking, just everything. So it's going to be interesting to see, once dealers try it, I think they're going to find out, wow, this was good. We've had some dealers already, beta test it. And, even a dealer had something posted on Central himself for a price and he couldn't get it moved. So he booked it at Skye's OAV for a lower price, and we got it moved within a day.
Ooh.
And that's the
why do you
the
think
power.
that is? Yeah, why why would that happen?
Well,
Yeah.
because we have abilities in our CRM to use something like My Carrier Network. So when something comes in, it texts and emails all the carriers that have ever run that route for us and lets them know we have a load. A lot of carriers don't check Central like they should. So, they get a text and they're on the road. They're like, wow, that's something on my route. And they grab it, as well as our reputation. A lot of carriers, sometimes they don't even like to ship for dealers, where they know with Easy Auto Ship, it's guaranteed quick pay. We pay good and we get it done. We're easy to work with. The communication is stellar. We have a full-time customer service department, dispatch department, just everything. So, we're excited to start boarding dealers and just give them what they need and what they want at a great value. So it's going to be interesting to see, because I personally think it's going to catch on like wildfire. I think it's going to be, one of the biggest changes in buying cars online and transporting cars in the last decade. I think Skye hit a home run with this one, and I'm super excited to be part of it. Him and I have been working on this for a couple of years together, and it's finally coming to fruition, which is just exciting. I got goosebumps about it. So it's very cool. And, having ABD and Super Dispatch and TAQ all wrapped in one is another, it's just a big bonus, because when dealers go to Central and they post a car, they don't have any kind of ability for checks and balances, and say they ship 5-10 cars a week. That's a train wreck for them. They got Post-it notes on their desk or, wherever, saying this car is at this price. Where's this car? Where's that car?
Or they forget, Eric. That's happened to me as a dealer. I had a car from Colorado to California, and I forgot that I bought it at auction.
Yeah, dealers
for a couple of weeks. I'm like, hey man, I think I bought a Jeep, and I forgot that I forgot to get it transported. It was out of sight, out of mind.
Right. I'm not saying all dealers are unorganized like that, but it happens.
Human error.
And another nice thing about this is not only can they buy the car and ship it from wherever they bought it to their dealership, but they can use the transport tool to ship it to the end user as well at a good price, reliable, full coverage, digital BOLs, tons of checks and balances. And, that's something I think that'll come after they buy from the auction. Once they have a good experience there, they're going to realize, it's just easier to log in to OAV and use the transport tool. It's reasonable, it's reliable, it's affordable, and it's just going to be a great tool. We're excited about it. So, like I said, I think what Skye has created is going to be one of the biggest changes and innovations of how people buy cars online and ship them in a decade. It's really...
What I think is interesting is, as Skye, as you've looked at multiple auctions, as hey, I've got information in all these places. I need to be able to centralize the information. When you take those theories to all the different transportation headaches, just talk about the stickies and managing details. You need alarms and alerts and status, right? The digitization of transportation will be game changing as opposed to where it is now.
Yeah, where's my car? Did it get dispatched? Yeah. Did it get picked up? Because Central, I don't get those notifications. I don't know when that car got picked up. I just know that car after I have to call the guy, hey, where's my car at? I have to call the guy and ask him, where's my car? And he's, oh yeah, I'll be there tomorrow. And out of sight, out of mind. I get busy with a customer, and then 2 days later, 3 days later, I'm like, hey, wasn't that car supposed to be here? So then I have to call the guy again, and then he gives me an excuse. Yeah, I had this and that. It's brain damage that dealers don't need. And me being a car dealer of 21 years, and I have fellow friends that are car dealers, this entire solution is dealer centric. Everything that we've done is dealer centric. It's all around the dealer. The dealer is who we care about, what's make them happy, make their life easier. And I think that's where things got forgotten along these paths of these other solutions. They're carrier centric. And that's where I think some of the pitfalls are to these solutions, why dealers obviously will go to other solution providers.
And yet, I said, William, I see you in the live chat, and I just want to say that it ultimately, if we're really paying attention, that everybody in the ecosystem is satisfied with these changes and innovations, right? And now Beck is coming up after the break, and look at, Beck can tell you, look at how bills of lading were before Super Dispatch and what Super Dispatch did just to bills of lading. So then you go to the next level of digitizing and integrating car shipping in your purchase process, where it's amazing. You have all this digital technology, and then you get to auto transfer. You're like, well, I guess somebody pick up a phone and send a fax.
Piece of paper.
Right? Yeah. And that's crazy. And at the same time, there are some companies that'll say, oh, we already solved that. But have they?
No, they haven't. They haven't, Jay. I've looked at every solution out there, and there's nothing even stone's throw close to what we're doing.
Yeah, another thing that I want to point out, like Skye said, it's hard to get a hold of when they're dealing with just the driver and the dealer. It's a different relationship versus us and the driver, because we ship a lot of cars and we use drivers a lot, where dealers don't ship as many, and so they don't have the rapport with a lot of drivers like we do in the relationship and the volume, which it's a big deal. They respond, as many dealers know, a lot of the drivers don't communicate very well on Central, but they do communicate with us better because they want our business. And, and we just have everything down to a science and communication wise. And ABD is part of that check and balance system. The carrier or the driver or the dealer will get a text, an email at every status of the shipping, from booking the order to dispatching the order, in transit, delivered, digital BOL. Then we'll make a call, make sure everything went smooth, and at a great value. They don't have to worry about anything. They can book the transport and forget about it. And it's gonna be good, man. I'm telling you, I know this is gonna blow up, and it's once they finally can check out on LEV2 and just pay for everything right there with a touch of a button. I mean, it's gonna be awesome. I'm just so excited, because I think when I talked to Skye a couple of years ago and I bought this idea and he was talking to me about it, I knew right away this is going to blow up. There's no doubt. And it's coming to fruition now. So it's pretty excited.
It is exciting. I think the rest of the automotive industry is excited to see auto transport trying to catch up.
Yeah.
Right. That might be a dangerous thing to say, but if you look back 5 years, auto transport was way behind technologically.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
So, which I think Beck is our next guest. Perfect segue to Beck. Let's do this. Do me a favor, stick around, because right after the break, we're going to be live with Beck Abdullayev. He is the CEO of Super Dispatch, and you aren't going to want to miss it. We'll be right back.
Yeah, so let's be honest with it. Everybody, as an operator, like myself, we're always looking to save expense, okay? And so if I can get a product that is just as efficient as another product and yet save a ton of money, that's what I'm going to do. And so I think the value proposition that Dealerslink offers is unmatched, right? For what we spend on Dealerslink, for what we get from Dealerslink, full spectrum, the marketplace's support, the OEM data, the Fastbook tool, the mobile applications that you have. The value proposition is huge. And I definitely would recommend, I have recommended, we are continuing to install it into our stores as we speak.
Request a live demo at dealerslink.com now.
The evolution of transportation. In the beginning of car shipping, there were stone tablets and woolly mammoths, very primitive vehicle delivery. Then, horse-powered haulers with mile-long paper BOLs causing enormous time hassle and massive stacks of paperwork for dealers, shippers, and carriers. What were we thinking? But now, with modern technology and cell phone mobile apps, simply click a button, order quick, reliable auto transport to pick up and deliver your cars safely and on time. It's instant car shipping at the best market rate. Start saving money today and get signed up. Visit oneauctionview.com. To sort, review, run vehicle history reports, vehicle values, retail comps, all on one screen. There is a better way. OneAuctionView.com. Thanks for tuning in. Links are in the live chat. Sorry about the disruption here, but we are disrupting. This is a show about disruption, and our next guest is a friend and CEO of Super Dispatch, Abdullayev. Can you see us and hear us okay?
Yes, I can hear you. I can see you. Can you hear me?
All right, I hit the applause button. Yes, we hear you, we see you. For anybody not familiar with you, please say hello and tell us a little bit more about you.
Great. Thank you. First of all, thank you for having me on the show. Hey, Skye. Hi, Eric. It's great to see you all. Hey, Jay. Big fan of the show. Obviously, a big fan of Skye's. We'll touch on that later. A big fan of you, Eric. I've known you for a long time. You have an amazing business, a great industry expertise. I'm happy to tell you a little bit about Super Dispatch. So the reason that I'm here today is that our technology, our end-to-end shipping platform, is some of the backbone that allows this dealer buying experience to happen. We go way back to, we used to be dispatchers and brokers and car haulers, and we used to work 10, 15 years ago in a world where everything was antiquated, everything was paper-based. You never knew where your car is. It was really hard to figure out how much a car, what it was going to cost to move your car, or who can reliably do it, let alone where your car is, or the inspections, making sure your car is getting to your dealership in the same shape without any scratches or dents, and then settling payments with carriers. All this stuff was manual. So we decided to make things better and to digitize things. The world was changing. People, market dealers, auctions, brokers, companies, everyone in the automotive space needed a better solution. And technology piece was missing. So we built Super Dispatch as an end-to-end shipping platform that makes it easy for brokers and shippers and carriers and dealers to manage the process of moving cars. And, at the end of the day, there's only a few things that you need to move a car, right? You need to reliably understand what's the best price, who can do it reliably and on time, and then make sure where your car is at. When is it getting there? Is it on time? Is it late? Get ETAs, get digital inspections of its condition at pickup and delivery, and is the job done? And if it's done, can I just settle it, right? So we are the backbone of some of those core digital transactions where we make it possible to do all of that in one place without using any paperwork, so without picking up your phone even once. And these modern day integrations make it possible for companies like One Auction View to provide exceptional dealer wholesale buying experience, where you can source all the cars. You can do floor planning now with Kinetic Advantage, and at checkout you just check a box, and your car just shows up. And along the way, partners like Easy Auto Ship make sure that your car is being delivered on time, you're getting the best price, and you can see where your car is at any given time, and you have all these inspections at your fingertips. So if there's any damage or anything is along the way, you can easily attribute that. So It's been a long journey. It's been about 10 years, but we're helping over 13,000 carriers on our platform every day. There are over 700,000 cars move a month on Super Dispatch today. And it's been a really exciting and rewarding journey because a lot of the customers, we get phone calls and messages of gratitude, of people just out of the blue calling or emailing and saying, "Hey, thanks for doing this. It made our job a lot easier. We used to be inundated with paperwork, all the phone calls and stuff. So the whole digital experience makes it a lot easier. So that makes us really happy. And we have background in auto transport. So back in the day, I used to be a dispatcher along with Jay over here and Sue, that some of you who follow Jay's show may know. I worked with a lot of carriers. I've ridden on the road with carriers. I've visited a lot of brokers. So I've seen a lot of these pain points firsthand. And this is actually a very exciting time to earlier comment from Jay about how there's so much innovation, so much tech, this whole race. Ultimately, this is great for the end customer. This is great for the dealer. This is great for the carrier. This is great for everyone involved in the automotive ecosystem. The best technology is going to win. So I'm really excited to be here, to be living in the future, which is today. So I'm super excited for today Auto Auction, One Auction View to launch this holistic experience for dealers. And dealers love it. It's so great. Dealers love it, and I think no one has done it before. So I'm excited to be a part of it. I'm thrilled to be a part of it. And I'm overall happy for all of us to be here and all of our customers and users to be experiencing what the future is like. And to know that it only gets better from here is even more exciting.
For real. Right?
Good time.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
This is
Good
just
call.
the start.
Yeah.
Just the tip of the iceberg.
I was thinking it's kind of like in the 80s when cell phone technology came out, right? It was pretty bitchin' and not even anywhere near what it is now.
Yeah.
And that's where we're headed. Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. How cool was that, right? Last time, a few months ago, Jay, when we were talking about Copilot podcast a few months ago, we touched on the idea of, some of you may not know if you're in the dealer space, for example, but these carriers that move the cars, they complain so much about having so many apps. Everyone was just so many apps and so many technologies to look at, and I get that. I feel that it's really hard for the driver, but at the end of the day, so many companies are competing for the driver's attention. So at the end of the day, the driver is going to end up having the best technology possible. So I also love the competition aspect of it. Eric, Easy Autoship over here. A lot of your excellence in your company is probably driven by the companies you compete with. You're probably 100 times bigger than you are today than when I first met you some 10 years ago, and competition drives a lot of those things. So
It does.
It's a good point.
It does.
It's a really good point.
One thing that I think is cool too about OAV is, dealers can actually find the car a buyer wants and almost have it sold before they even get it. Where they used to go to auctions and they'd have to look through and wait for the auction lanes and all this stuff. They could just go right on OAV and say, I need a Toyota Camry, 2019 to 2022, this mileage range, and search 100 different places, and boom, it comes right up. And that's very cool. That changes the game a little bit.
And they could buy that car wherever it is the cheapest in the marketplace. And obviously with instant quotes, exactly what it's gonna cost to move that car. So if you could rip that car, to your point, you're gonna buy, maybe in the winter, you buy a Camry, you want to buy that in the Midwest where it's cold and it's a two-wheel drive, front-wheel drive car. You're gonna rip it, and then obviously if you're in Florida and you're buying Corvettes, you're not gonna buy a Corvette in your backyard. You're gonna look, hey, why not look someplace in Texas, somewhere in the Midwest, look somewhere where the buyers aren't. So I always say, fish in the pond where you could be in the biggest pond with the least amount of fishermen. Right. That's what you want to do. And that's the key to a dealer's success now is buying the right cars, the right price, and then obviously transporting them and getting them moved back to you in your marketplace without killing yourself and paying too much money. And that's the solution that we offer.
Yeah. Another thing that's possible today with the amount of data that's on the market today and all these algorithms and AI-powered algorithms around pricing is ability to understand your platform provides the cost of inventory in different markets, right? Same car can cost different depending on the market. And knowing cost of transport at the same time that factors into your cost of buying the car can be can make the difference, getting you the best deal, right? And I think for your ability in a single interface at one auction view to bundle the cost of the vehicle with cost of transport, right? And potentially the ETA, so the dealer knows the best deal, based on cost and transport, financing, and also potentially knowing exactly when they can have that on the lot.
Yeah, I think I think dealerships will sell a lot of deals right at the salesman's table or his desk because they can just figure out what it's going to cost, total out the door, and an ETA on that car, and if the deal's done and they like it, it's a done deal. They buy the car, they know when it's going to come, they know the total price. It's a very cool thing where you just had to figure all that out before. You couldn't, you just couldn't figure out where your margins were going to be and this and that.
Or it was Yahtzee, Eric. You'd buy a car and you're like, all right, I know it's $1,000 to move it. And then you post it on Central and you're like, oh man, that's $1,700 to move it. And I'm going from experience. That's happened to me because I used Central for nearly 10 years. And the problem is if you're, things change from day to day, week to week. It's the fish market. So that's why I feel comfortable providing dealers with market-based pricing. They book a car on our platform. It's guaranteed pricing. We're not changing anything. You're not getting the price bump. Hey man, I got to bump you another $75, and I'm not going to say who, but that's happened to me on some auction transport platforms that I've used, and I've used them all, every single one of them.
Yeah, I tell you what, TAQ really is a big factor in that for us, and to be able to guarantee that price, because we have a price watch team that monitors lanes and routes and seasonal changes, supply and demand, and it's constantly changing and keeping up on things. So it gives us the confidence to be able to price it out correctly, move it within the amount of time that we have, and get the job done at a fair price for the dealer and the carrier.
And let's not underestimate too. We talked about it, but digital BOLs. I mean, that could be a whole conversation topic in itself. But
you do a whole show on it.
Yeah, a whole show. As a dealer, I can't tell you how many times I've been burned with a paper BOL where I looked at the photo on the car that I bought at the auction, and it's got a cracked windshield when it shows up, and good old Bob's Transport just wrote that cracked windshield, hand scribbled it on there, in different colored ink too. Different colored ink. When it was first picked up, it was blue. Then when it got delivered, the damage had blue ink, and I'm like, hey man, I think you kinked me here. Oh no, that was there. So photos don't lie. Not usually, but photos don't lie. They're date stamped. That digital BOL from Super Dispatch is so important to us car dealers to one to see that car when we bought it at the auction, making sure that something didn't deviate from when we bought it or something that got undisclosed at the auction. It's also protecting the dealer from the auction and the transporter. So super, super important. Digital BOLs, I can't say enough about those, how much I love those. And obviously later on we'll hear from our dealer partners on that as well.
Yeah. Another thing too, that when dealers used to go to Central or do go to Central, they don't realize, because they don't ship a ton of cars, how shady some of the carriers can be. They have Photoshop PDFs of insurance, all sorts of stuff, where we don't take any chances. We run every dealer before they transport a car through us, through RMIS, which is your largest insurance monitoring service out there for carriers, so that we know he's solid. They don't get the vehicle until we know everything is solid. And if you're just using Central and you're trusting what you see on the PDF, I'm telling you, it's, carriers are tricky. So,
yeah, you guys are touching on a very big pain point right now, at least in the last year or two in auto transport, and that's trust and reliability. There's been a lot of fraud happening in the space, some identity theft, fraud, cars disappearing, cars being damaged, payments not coming through, and it's been difficult to find reliable actors, good actors, or to weed out bad actors from the ecosystem. Some of the old school platforms that you can go on, they resemble somewhat of a Craigslist. You post something out there and you get a phone call or whatnot, and you just never know who you're dealing with, right? So the whole digital ecosystem and this experience allows us now to find the trusted actors. So RMIS is amazing, for example, right? My carrier packet, that portal, all these solutions, digital solutions exist today, but also not just verifying them one time and monitoring them, also understanding their profile, the carrier profiles and their activities, right? Their damage rates, how many cars have they hauled, how long they've been in business, how often are they on time, how often are they late, how many times have you worked with them, who do you know that they work with? So we're living in a digital world, right? So when you want to know something, when you look somebody up, what do? You Google them, right? But you can't Google a carrier. But on platforms like Super Dispatch, you can. You can go in and you can look up a carrier and see a complete history of that carrier. And there's a whole, 3-4 years ago, I didn't have to do this, but today we have a 6-person compliance team. We have a full-time fraud investigator on the platform to make sure that bad actors or any shady activities get identified and eliminated from the platform. And the funny thing is, after I launched Copilot, the podcast, and I'm in communication with a lot of people in the business now, just about non-technological stuff, people will reach out and say, hey, I had this broker actually reach out to me maybe a month or two ago. And this broker lost a Rolls Royce, not their customer's car, $150,000, $170,000 car. They booked it, a carrier booked it off of another job board, and boom, car's gone. And the broker's on the hook, the customer's on the hook, and they're like, hey, Beck, can you help? And I said, hey, I'd love to help. So I started talking to this company, and they're not our customer today, or then they weren't our customer. But I tried to help them, and I got some information, and I looked up this carrier on our platform to see if I can track anything down. And turns out we shut them down 3 months ago. But the carrier was still able to operate on other platforms and continue to defraud others. So I think we're living in a very different world. So in a world like this, I think you need reliable digital platforms that allow you to trust it and safely transact at a good rate, right? With companies you can trust. I think that's important. So that's one of the things that's really top of mind as we're going into 2024. Conversations like this about damages or unreliable carriers or cars disappearing, all these things are increasing. So we're paying a lot of attention to make sure that only the best actors and the good actors are able to operate on a platform like Super Dispatch. Because at the end of the day, when we power the dealer experience view for one auction view, right, and then we power the transactions for easy auto ship, we want to make sure that you can trust the platform and the companies you're dealing with on the other end are also reliable and can be trusted. I think that's going to be one of the biggest challenges that we face in this industry this year.
There are so many topics, and this is going to be a long show. So let's do this. Let's bring in Joe Keadle. Joe, thanks for waiting in the wings. Please do help us wish a very warm welcome to our friend. Joe Keadle is the SVP of Sales and founder of Kinetic Advantage, and he's joining us now. And this will take us in a different direction. I think bundling, okay, this is interesting. I've thought of this too, Beck, is that you have inventory in different markets, and you say, oh, I can get this here, I can get this here, it's really great. Oh, but wait, what's the transport cost? And knowing that up front will be a game changer for folks that probably regretted what they thought was going to be a really great deal in a different market. And I know that Joe, in talking about floor planning and risk, I believe is also talking about including shipping price in the transaction, the floor planning. Joe, can you see us and hear us okay?
I sure can. Can you hear me?
All right, we can see you, we can hear you. Let's kick off with a bit of an intro for anyone that's not familiar with who you are. Please say hello and tell us a little bit more.
Good to see everybody. Joe Keadle, leader of sales and marketing at Kinetic Advantage. Sold cars, been in the industry for, I'm reluctant to admit, I think 30 years now. I know I don't look it.
Hey, Joe, how are you? Good to see you.
Good. I'm pretty excited about what Skye's been able to put together for probably a different vantage point from some of the things that we've talked about so far. For me, it's all about being able to address the volatility in the marketplace, and dealers have to have predictability. And, as a floor plan provider servicing the independent dealer, the better they are at understanding their cost structure, how quickly they can get something frontline ready so they can turn around and sell it to a consumer, that's key. That controls their cost, it lowers their expense structure on the floor plan side. I want to see that fast inventory turn in a very volatile market. So anywhere where they can get predictability at the best price available, which is what Skye is trying to bring, I'm a huge fan.
Who wants to take that and run with it?
Well, I think he's spot on there. When dealers can flip their inventory with one button, know the cost, almost have it sold before it even gets there.
Yeah,
that's a big deal. Previously dealers had to use a flooring plan to buy a car, and then they had to figure out transport, put in a credit card somewhere else, pay another spot. When they can search for what they want, get exactly what they want, and click a button and be done, know the cost, that's a game changer. It's a big deal.
You said, I like how you said predictability. I want to go with that for a second. Really? Buttons in the control room. Predictability. In fact, that was unpredictable. Predictability is important when you're... Finish that sentence for me, Joe. When you're a dealer acquiring inventory and you're dealing at... You get to large numbers quickly, don't you?
You are, and you're really fighting every day to control your cost structure. You need to understand where your cost structure is so that you can move quickly through the retail process. And without understanding that predictability, you can't do your washout sheets. You don't understand your commission structure. You don't understand your full expense. And if you can shave days or a week off of the time that the car lands at your location, what it does to you for your frontline ready processes so that you can put that vehicle in the hands of a consumer and actually cash the check because you've completed a retail transaction, that's enormous for a dealer. Dealers are starved for that. It's an extremely volatile market, and the longer they hold on to an asset that is subject to all this volatility, the more dangerous it is. So shortening that window is a key to being able to be successful and adding predictability into their cost structures.
Yeah, I agree, and I'll piggyback off of Joe. As a dealer of 21 years, I always am trying to get my cars as fast as I can back to the lot because I need to get them reconned, I need to get them advertised, I need to get them sold because every day there's a cost of doing business. There's a cost to that vehicle. So if I can mitigate that 1 day, 2 days on every car, that's thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars if you scale it. So to Joe's point, it's serious money and it adds up really quick. $20,000, 10 times a month, that's a lot of money on those average ticket cars because the average car is 20 some odd $1,000 in today's world we live in.
Oh yeah. And it's been crazy lately. When you go back to the summer, a 5.1% drop in average wholesale values. You look at November, December, an 8% drop in wholesale values. You don't want your damn car on the back of a truck when that happens. You want it on your lot where you can do something about it.
Right.
Agreed.
I have a question for you guys. So this is a pretty innovative solution. I'm so impressed with your ability to piece it all together for the dealers. How did this happen? How did this come to be? How did this take us back to the origin story just for a moment.
Well, that's a good one. Good aspect. So obviously, you know, with One Auction View, I realized that we were solving one part of the puzzle, which is obviously helping dealers find those vehicles that they need. But the reality is, you need to be able to have some sort of vessel when you find those vehicles, get them moved, get them executed. And car dealers don't like to typically move out of their comfort zone, and they're used to casting a net. 250-mile radius is about the average dealer. Some will go 500 miles, but still that's not outside of the sphere of influence of finding and buying inventory. And really, you need to be able to look 1,000 miles, 1,500 miles to be able to find and buy that car. And you really have to have a transport solution to tell you, hey, how much is it to move that car? How much is it to move that F250 or 3/4 ton truck from Texas to California? Because I just saw a deal, I want to buy it. And you have to make that decision sometimes in minutes and seconds. So that's the reality we live in today, the digitized world, that you have to make informed decisions. And obviously that's why these partners are so valuable to me on this call, because they all have technology backbones to everything that they do. Kinetic is deep in technology. Super Dispatch, a super technology-based company. Easy Auto Ship, technology. TAQ, technology. So, technology, the more things that we could use technology, and that's a kind of a loose term, but the reality is it's going to make processes and efficiencies out of technology with low touch points. You shouldn't have to have a lot of touch points with people touching stuff before somebody can make a decision. That's why I love tech, because you get instant gratification. I can know how much it is to move my car. I can hit a button and that car is getting dispatched, and I get a notification, hey, Bob's Transport picked up my car, and I'll see it in 2 days. And I got digital BOLs from Super Dispatch, and I could see the condition of that car to know that when I bought it at the auction, it's not damaged when it got loaded on that carrier, and I'm going to get it in 3 days, so I can make sure I could advertise it and pay off Kinetic once I get that car back to the store as quickly as possible.
So what Skye's done here is really address a core pain point. Dealers have so few areas of predictability, and they're dealing all the time with volatile items, people, the processes, the price points, the changes in the economy, the headwinds that they face. Giving a dealer any advantage or edge in speed and profitability increases the success of that dealership. And that's why, as a floor planner, I love the concept and what this product's going to do for dealers, because it's going to shorten that frontline ready time and give them cost predictability, so they know what they need to retail that car for. That is a key function of a dealership, is understanding the speed to sell.
Exactly. You're right.
And instead of having 6 people on speed dial every time you want to buy a car, you have their technology plugged in.
Yeah.
All right? The second way is clearly better. Let's do this. Speaking of pricing, CRM, and technology, let's bring in Cheli. Please do help us wish a very warm welcome to Cheli Garcia. She is here from sales and onboarding with SuperFlo Systems. Let's see if she can see us and hear us. Yeah, we'll go ahead and give her the applause button. And I didn't give a lot of warning because, it's hard. We're running much later than I expected, but I like it. It's great. Cheli, can you see us and hear us okay?
Yes. Can you hear me okay?
We can see you. We can hear you. please introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit more about you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. So my name is Cheli Garcia, and I have been at SuperFlo Systems and Technologies for about 3 years now, working with our carriers, brokers, and dealers to utilize our various software platforms for auto transport. So as you can see with my little logos here, we have Transport Auto Quoter, the auto quoting calculator, Pro ABD, the CRM for brokers, and I'm here, Dispatch Center, the load board for carriers and for dealers and brokers. So TAQ, as Skye had mentioned, is used to calculate the auto transport for dealers on his site. We're super excited to be here and to be part of this process and adding value to what Skye is doing here, which adds value for dealers. So TAQ, on this side, it takes many different things into account that just makes it so unique and special to the industry. It can give you an accurate price for something that is out of route because of the recipe and the algorithms and the intelligence behind the way the auto quoter works. So it takes the year of the vehicle, the make, the model, the running condition, nearby metros for deductions into account, and the carrier type, so if it's on an open or enclosed carrier. And brokers and dealers can also add their own small tweaks based on their business, which is something that no other auto quoting system offers, which makes it the leading auto quoter in the industry. So we're super excited to be able to be part of this process and, as I said, add that value to what Skye has launching here, which is really quite special and spectacular.
Thanks, Cheli. I just want to say that pricing, quoting, transportation, each time is a delicate process. So to do it in an automated fashion requires a very complicated system to make it easy. Right? And it's got to be right. Yeah. You can't give the wrong price. If you're off by several hundred, you're not in a good spot.
Yes.
No.
And as Eric had mentioned, it's important to give an accurate and fair price to build those relationships with dealers and to build those connections and steady relationships.
Yeah. So I know a lot of customers that use TAQ, very happy. It's an amazing product. And I think one of the things that some people don't seem to understand is the market's also changing based on seasonality and supply and demand, right? So the prices are fluctuating. And then because the equipment, the carrier equipment can only take certain shapes and sizes of cars, all these modified cars and big and bulky items or weird locations that aren't common routes. I mean, pricing is a very complex problem, and TAQ does a great job of solving that. And I think it's sort of an art to come up with the right and reliable price. And I think the fact that a lot of companies rely on that, I think it's a great testament that giving the dealer that experience in one auction view, right? They can make sure they're getting reliable and the best possible price based on what's actually happening out there in the market.
That's exactly right, Beck. And it's very cool that we're going to be able to tweak the pricing on top of the pricing that it gives. So once the volume kicks up, we will build relationships based on that route and how many dealers are shipping on that route, how many cars. We'll build the relationship with the carriers. We can set the price for that route in TAQ. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that we can do and tweak to scale this out properly. And it gives us a lot of ability to do it right.
Right. My understanding is that as the broker, as the shipper, whatever your role is, you can tweak TAQ to your business.
Exactly.
In addition to all the other smart algorithms it already contains. So it's pretty cool. Highly customizable, has a long track record, it's pulling from a lot of data, to give accuracy and provide the quote that your business is looking for.
Yeah, I mean, TAQ knows that there's an exit on this highway, and there's a discount to be given because there's an exit close to where that drop is, versus maybe 30 miles down the road, there's no exit. They have to backtrack, which is a big deal. You know, it knows there's an exit. It gives a discount for that. The carrier realizes that, or it doesn't give a discount, and the carrier realizes that, and he gets paid properly. Mm-hmm. It knows a lot of information, and it's very customizable.
And that is a good point, because carriers know things that only they could know.
They know the roads.
Are very important to them in the revenue of delivering that vehicle.
Right.
Because if the carrier is unhappy with the deal, that's not good either.
No, carriers are not afraid to
let you
express their opinion on drop-off.
Right.
You got lucky. I shouldn't have taken this load at this price.
Right. That phone call's happening right now, by the way.
Oh, all over the country.
It absolutely is. Let's do this. I know it's getting late, so we don't want to miss our dealers. What we're going to do is we're going to bring in, gentlemen, get ready. We've got John, and then we've got Stan joining, and possibly if Matt is able to join, because you can't have a proper evaluation without some testimonials. It's getting late, so we don't. So all right, so here's Stan. Stan, how you doing?
Hello, everybody.
Gentlemen, get ready. We've got John. All right, cool. And then we've got John. John is a dealer.
Hey, everybody, how's it going?
So, John, why don't we go to you first? John, please say hello and tell us a little bit more about you.
Hey, everybody, my name is John Santos. I'm an independent car dealer for 7 years. Started in 2016. And I'll tell you something about transport because I started with the background of zero knowledge of pretty much how a dealership flows, and transport is a very key thing that is pretty much runs the whole thing from sales to profitability, time to market, etc. So in the beginning, I would just transport every car, just drive them back from the auction. You know, we're talking, I'm in Bakersfield, so that's Central Valley, California. Usually we go down to LA or Sacramento. We're talking hours of transport. Mm-hmm. And the key thing is liability. So if a tire blows, if the engine blows or something, I mean, there's always the unexpected, right? Brakes don't work, let's say that. I mean, you risk your life even just with that alone. And the time factor as well. Since, as an independent car dealer, we have multiple hats that we wear on a daily basis that we don't have the time to, focus on just transport, et cetera, et cetera. So from there, I went to other places to ship my cars, which would be like Ready Logistics, for example. And we're talking about time, that would take a long time to move one car, and the price as well is extremely pricey. So from there, I went to Central Dispatch, how everybody has mentioned. And the insurance verification, that was one thing that I've noticed that they did not really look into. So it's also the liability factor of it. Nothing's really verified in my opinion. And there's also a lot of miscommunication because not only do you have the broker, you have the driver. And sometimes, there's miscommunication between those two parties. So from there, Skye let me know about this project he was working on of OAV, and I gave it a shot, and it was really good. My first vehicle, I believe Eric gave the example. I had it listed on Central for a few days for a higher price. I typed it into OAV, and it was about $200 cheaper. Someone picked it up within the day, which is a big thing. And I know Joe was talking about one thing for us is the time to market, especially now during these past couple months that we've seen. For here in California, we use Kelly Blue Book. Those price drops are insane. We're talking thousands most of the time, and that's a key thing for us to be able to put them on the market as fast as possible and be able to move them. And not just in this time, because during COVID, everything was selling like crazy. So if you're running out of inventory, what are you selling in order to capture that market? And apart from that, I read on the comments as well, having to send out over 90 1099s, which is what we're all going through at this moment. Some
January 31st.
yeah. Some transporters don't want to cooperate. I've had that experience already. So yeah, and then it also gives us the ability to be able to know how much we're in the vehicle before we buy it. So like that, we can kind of get an idea and price it. And let's say I'm looking at a vehicle in the Midwest. Do I have the room to buy the vehicle and still find a better deal than in my local market? That's what helps me make that judgment. And that's just pretty much my take on it.
Yeah, thank you, John, for that feedback. Do we have some of the slides for some of the digital BOLs and some of that, maybe some of the takeaways there that we could kind of go over, Jay?
Yeah, let's do.
That may be kind of cool to share with folks.
So I've got a few slides here, right? Do you want to? We'll go through each one of these slides. You want to do that?
Yeah, we can go quick. Obviously, we don't need to burn up too much time for folks, but yeah, we can go through real quick. So obviously, on the purchases, we sync up the purchases for the dealer, which is really pretty cool. Nobody else does this, and they could arrange transport. Should be the next slide under purchases, from the vehicle purchases. So you've got your list of purchased vehicles, and then the next slide will show obviously the transport. You click on that, you get the you obviously you already know the cost for it, and then from there you can book it, and then book, add your credit card payment, and then obviously you get updates from the transport page. So the transport page, you'll get status updates there. Obviously, if the car's in transit, if it's been dispatched, estimated time, you could gate pass, cancel orders, communicate, call the broker. You have obviously access to your digital BOLs on pickup and delivery. So you have all that always tattooed to the car. You'll always know the statuses, which is really cool. And obviously, John, I think this first time you saw a digital BOL was using our app.
Yeah, I believe so.
Wow, this is a nice interface.
So obviously that's the order flow. It gets dispatched, it gets obviously picked up, and so forth, and then obviously further on we'll show when the vehicle gets delivered. So that's super exciting stuff, and obviously really easy. That's the way things should be for us car dealers and my car dealer friends like John. We don't have time to babysit a bunch of nonsense. We just need I want to know, hey, where's my car? When am I going to get it? How much is it? Hey, is it being protected? Am I insured? Am I covered? The photos, and let me focus on selling cars, financing cars, because that's my core business. Transportation is not my core business as a dealer.
Exactly.
That's always good to point out. Hey Stan, we brought you in here. I love having you and your perspective. Please say hello and add something to the conversation.
Yeah, hey everybody. Thanks for joining, or thanks for letting me join. I've been listening and enjoying the conversation. Like everybody else on this call, I first heard of Skye's project, not 2+ years ago, but at least half a year ago, and I got a sneak peek of it when you were building it. Skye was either at NIADA or one of the ones. It was in the Kinetic booth, Joe, and I had a chance to meet you, and it was just neat. It's going to be something I think is going to be revolutionary for folks, like Joe and other customers who are looking for that simple single point of access, right? And so I think for our side, we're just happy to be, the part of the technology platform that everybody on this call has said really glowing things about, and finds us to be the trustworthy, not only platform but ecosystem that you feel confident enough to sort of bolt onto what you guys are building. Because it's one thing to go select a vendor, and then if you're unhappy with that vendor, you can cancel your contract. It's a whole nother thing to put somebody's technology inside of your technology. That's a different level of platform commitment, And so I know Kinetic, you've done it with One Auction View, and then now One Auction View's done it with Super Dispatch. So it's just a really neat way to see that this has all come together.
I like how everybody here represents a piece of the puzzle, right? Because it takes a village. I know no one wants to say that anymore, but it does take a village. Darn it. What were you going to say here?
I was just saying, we're just trying to help Joe move cars, to sell cars, right? All of us are here to help Joe sell a car.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, I really like that Super Dispatch also tracks all the data of percentages of delivery and damage reports, all sorts of stuff, where we used to just do that on an Excel sheet. And it was a nightmare, you know, with the amount of cars that we move. Our banned driver list was almost as big as our drivers to use list. And with on Super, we can just check it out. If they don't meet the requirements, we just don't use them. And it's instant. We can just check out all the stats right away, and it's super helpful.
But that's the theme here on all this. It takes a lot of technology woven together. I said that at the beginning to make this work. It's not just one piece here of the cog that made it work. It's this entire ecosystem, if you would, that we wove together of fantastic partners that I'm very proud to work with. And these are great, great people that have made this all work and made this all come together. So that's exactly it. The point to take away there is like Jay's point. It takes a village to make this happen, to make this ecosystem complete. And that's what's super exciting about this offering.
Well, I think of John, and every day he lives this. He's at the crossroad of every one of these decisions. And if John's not able to make good, informed decisions for his dealership, his business is not successful. And the mouths that he has to feed from that business suffer. John needs predictability and consistency. So we're all here to serve the John Santos of the world in Bakersfield, California, to make sure that they're empowered to do the most they can with their business.
Absolutely. 100% spot on, Joe. We're here to serve the dealers. And that's obviously my mantra. Everything that we do is dealer centric. I, as a dealer myself, I look at everything through a dealer's eyes. How do we make a dealer's life easier? What value add can we do incrementally on the next revision or the next iteration of our software to make it easier for John Santos to come to work tomorrow? What can we do to make it easier?
It's pretty cool that you created this as solving your own problem too. Like, you know, that some of the best companies and ideas were created to solve a problem for themselves. And and it's more rewarding that I can help others. Really, the reality is I solve my issue, but it's more rewarding that I can help others on this too, because other people are banging their head against the wall as we speak. They can't find cars. They can't get them transported, or they're, you know, whatever it may be, you know, they'll come to us and we'll be happy to help them.
Yes, one thing I found so wonderful from the slides that you showed is being able to receive those updates as a dealer and being able to, you know, just see those without having to call and be so worried, where is this car? Are there damage? You know, you get that BOL. Technologies make it so simple and efficient to just get that over quickly, efficiently, and reliably.
And it's organized and it's clean. And there's no paper flying around the cab. Obviously, I'm talking about a carrier, but it all applies. We really, who's managing everything on their mobile device? And that's what we want to do, personal life, business life, on the go, right? Be able to do what we need to do and have it organized and efficient. I think it's amazing to think about the prospect that, okay, there's Skye looking at a vehicle, and he needs to call Eric and Cheli to see if this makes sense. But he doesn't need to do that now. But he used to. He used to do that.
Or
Skye needs to go sell another
somebody.
car.
Yeah.
Let Skye go sell another car and not worry about transportation.
Exactly.
Excellent.
This will undoubtedly give dealers a way better chance of success and making more money. There's no doubt about it.
I will add too. I mean, one thing that I find really great is, it's made by a dealer for a dealer, which Skye completely understands all the pain points of what we go through on a daily basis and what affects our bottom line and everything included.
Yeah, love that. One problem that we've been hearing a lot from dealers is also about, when you book your transport from a third-party site somewhere or some kind of a board somewhere, the driver shows up in your lot expecting to get paid. And they don't know who they run into. So there's a guy in your lot that wants to get paid, holding the car hostage, and nobody knows what to do. Somebody has to go track it down, cut a check or something, right? That problem completely gone.
Good.
Right? Car shows up in good shape.
I think we all remember. I'm not going to drop it until I have a check.
Yes.
Oh man.
And nobody knows what he's talking about.
And John, how easy is the payment process on this? Tell us how easy is our solution.
Oh, it's so easy. You don't have to do anything. That's how easy it is. I mean, it pays itself. Once you add the card to the information, as soon as the card's delivered and signed, I mean, it processes the payment immediately right then and there. And I will add too, from what my experience with the loads that I have worked with OEV, when I book through Central, I have these crazy drop-off times of midnight, 11 a.m., 2 a.m. With OEV, I haven't heard any of that.
Huge. Do you have any that were just dropped off mysteriously somewhere near your
dealership?
Of course, I dropped it off right where it was supposed to be.
Yeah,
right.
Definitely.
But one of the things that we, especially, as part of the digital BOLs, right? You can specify within a drop-off radius, right? Hey, this needs to be, in order to be valid, it has to be within a certain radius. So I think those are, sort of, just incremental benefits that just get sort of swept in with the full solution that end up making your life easier.
Right.
I just want to add that I was at McDonald's and I was in the drive-thru using the app, and I realized I had now gotten to the point where I'm using the app to order food even though I'm sitting right in front of the sign. I thought that's weird that I'm doing that. Meaning, the technology's gotten so good now that the AI assistant knows what you're talking about. You can use the code. And the reason I ordered food on my app while sitting in the drive-thru staring at the sign was that if I used my app, it would automatically hit my credit card that's in the system, and then I would get my little McDonald's points, and I wanted my McDonald's points.
Heck yeah.
But the fact that it was so seamless and it worked so well, and then I just drove right past the payment window as fast as I could, gave a thumbs up. It's crazy. And then I had my food within seconds, and I'm out of there, and I'm thinking, this is wild. And this level of acceleration innovation is literally being applied to everything.
I agree, and with transport and what Skye has created, as volume picks up, we will develop relationships based on volume and not even have to post vehicles very often. We will be able to know where that driver is, send them a message, dispatch it to them, and it'll be done. The timing of buying the vehicle and transporting it and getting it on the road will decrease significantly as volume picks up and a lot of dealers start using OAD.
Which further allows a dealer to begin the sales process long before the vehicle's even on the lot.
I think a lot of dealers are going to have the car sold before it gets there. They're going to be able to drop the car off, collect their money, and it's already flipped. It's done.
Pretty neat. I want to thank everybody this was a really great show. Lots of information. It's neat to see everybody here. Even somebody in the chat said it's great to see everybody in one room. Thank you, Jesse and OAV, Silvermint, and Will. I just want to thank Skye, you called me. It was only a month ago. 6 weeks? And you're like, hey, we gotta do a show. I've got great news, right? So
Yes.
here we are, and that's awesome. So thanks for doing that.
Thank you humbly for the invitation, and always being a fantastic host. And I always love being on the show. Great people. I love being on the show with all my peers. You guys are all fantastic folks, and it's always exciting to be able to share something with the industry and help out my fellow dealer, because at the end of the day, that's where my energy is helping out Mr. Dealer, John Santos, for example, or Matt that wasn't able to make it. He actually was texting me a few minutes ago. He's like, man, I'm selling a car right here. It's just me running the store right now, and that's it. So he couldn't get on. So but he would gladly tell you he's booked a bunch of cars with us, but the guy's busy and he's got 5 stores. So he's anything that we could do to take the load off of my fellow dealer is what I want to do, because that is moving the needle. That is helping them.
Well,
Amen.
Skye, Eric, Beck, Joe, Cheli, Stan, John, thank you so much for your time, participation, and innovation. Round of applause. I'll see you all at the next trade show.
Hey, who all is going to NADA?
Right, good call. NADA, hands up.
So I know we'll be there.
Maybe.
Maybe. All right.
We
So
want to be
look forward
there.
to seeing everybody at NADA. And if somebody's watching this on replay, hook us up. Look us up.
Yeah, NADA, the big show. It's going to be great. So keep us
So-
posted. Maybe we'll have to do a post-NADA report.
There you go.
All right, cool. All right, thanks, everybody. Thank you so much. Have
Thank
a
you,
good
Jed.
evening, and we'll talk to you
Thank you.
soon.
Thanks, y'all.
All right. Have a
Thanks,
good night,
everybody.
Thank you.
All right, and that's a cut. Okay. It is fun. It is a bit like being in a trade show, having a meeting with influencing automotive business professionals. And if for anybody, if you, whether you're watching live or on demand, if you see somebody that you saw somebody on the screen, whether it's this show or one of the other shows, let them know, hey, I saw you on ATI. I thought it was great. I learned a lot. I have a question. Use that as an opportunity to connect and network and grow your own business. Skye Holman, Eric Ray, Cheli Garcia, Joe Keadle, Beck Abdullayev, Stan Deak, and John Santos. Thank you so much for being on the show. Matt, we're sorry you couldn't join us. We understand you're busy. I want to thank Murphy Auto Transport Services, Transport Auto Quoter, SuperFlo Systems, Dealerslink, and One Auction View. I want to thank you for tuning in. Thank you so much for saying hello in the live chat. I really appreciate it. If this is your first time on ATI, thanks so much for tuning in. Please do feel free to access other shows and information and reach out into the network. And if there's something you don't know, like let's say you don't know what floor planning is, find out more what floor planning is, watch ATI, jump in the live chat, let me know. Because I'm starting to say this because I realize ATI is an automotive business channel where anyone can learn more about automotive. What happens is sometimes, especially like a clubhouse, you try to tune in, but you don't know all the lingo, so you leave. And well, at ATI, if you don't know the lingo, we want to help you learn it so you feel comfortable, so you're ready to learn more. And that's what we do here. So thank you so much for tuning in. Appreciate you. We don't have a show Thursday, but we're back Tuesday night with Dealerslink, another pre-NADA show. They were here in December. We're just getting to know more about Travis and the team. But this show next Tuesday, tonight's show was big. Next Tuesday is going to be big. So tune in for that. Dealerslink on ATI Auto Business. Thank you, YouTube. Thank you, LinkedIn. Thanks, everybody, so much. Here comes the car hauler. Have a good night, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace out, everybody.